Welcome to Tree Traveler Treeside Chats. My name is Rachel. I'm the Tree Traveler, and thanks for being here with us today. And here we have with us today Beth Brantley and Craig Houghton, who are a dynamic duo, and we'll be hearing more about them as we go along today. And for those of you who are just joining us and haven't seen this program before, this channel really focuses on all the awesome tree people that are out there. The folks that do stuff with trees are amazing people, and I get to know the coolest people, and now you all get to know the coolest people. So thanks for joining us, and thanks to Beth and Craig. Really appreciate you guys taking time out and just chatting with me.
Thank
And
you, Rachel.
with
Thanks,
all of
Rachel.
our friends, whoever they may be. It's all 5 of them.
Let's hope more.
Yeah, let's hope more.
We'll promote.
But kind of wanted to just start and have you guys tell everyone a little bit about your backgrounds and what makes you kind of a tree person, actually. So,
Let's see. Craig Houghton just moved to New Hampshire here 3 years ago. And before that, Beth and I lived in Pennsylvania and taught forestry at Penn State Mont Alto campus, a 2-year associate program. And we taught together for 22 years. Young people who have gone out to do great things. But now I'm retired from that, and I'll let Beth tell what she's doing now.
well, I think let's pause for a second. You have an arboricultural background
Okay.
too that maybe would be interesting to folks.
True. I taught both forestry and arboriculture. I had my own tree care business in Raleigh, North Carolina for 6 years called Tree Solutions. And so spent a lot of time climbing the trees, looking at them, making sure they were safe or pruning them. So lots of tree hugging in my past.
Excellent.
Okay, fellow tree hugger. We taught all ages of wonderful people, didn't we?
We did. From older than us to way younger than us.
Correct. Yes. And hello, I'm Beth Brantley, and we taught together for 22 years. But we're also married. We have different last names. That's okay. And I think becoming a tree person, Rachel, I always wanted to work with trees because I didn't want to work with people.
Ha ha, joke was
Right.
on you.
Joke was totally on me. Yes. I had an earlier career as a forest pathologist with the USDA Forest Service based out of Asheville, North Carolina. Taught at Penn State Mont Alto for 22 years, and 6 years ago changed careers again, and I'm a research scientist with the Bartlett Tree Research Lab.
Cool.
On the road as a tree traveler.
Yeah, exactly. And you have, right, kind of a pathology background. So there might be some folks watching this who don't really know anything about that.
Great.
So why
Sure.
don't you tell them what that means?
Would love to. Yes. I like dead, dying, diseased, decayed, dysfunctional. What's another good D word? I already said death.
You already said that. Yeah.
Pathology is the study of disease. And in my case, plant pathology, forest pathology, I prefer the diseases of woody plants.
Okay.
Those caused by fungi, bacteria, viruses, and for some odd reason, nematodes are included in the pathological realm.
Okay. People may not know what a nematode is.
Ooh, Rachel, a nematode, a very small little worm. And if you ever had a pet with worms, or if you yourself had worms, perhaps as a child, from eating soil, then you have that experience with nematodes. There are tens of thousands of them in the soil right around us right now, doing great things, functioning as grazers and shredders and breaking apart organic matter and returning important nutrients to the earth. But there are also plant parasitic nematodes that cause a lot of trouble in agriculture with crops, with turf, and now an awful one in the leaves and the buds of beech trees.
Yeah. Well, I will say that's one thing that I guess I kind of admire folks that are working in pathology and also entomology in the forest sector, because it's sometimes discouraging.
Yes,
Like there's a lot of
sad.
threats that are out there, and it's kind of can sometimes be discouraging. But so glad that there are people like you out there that are working to figure it all out and hopefully help fight some of these things.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I want to know more about you all and your experience at Mont Alto teaching students. And I think one of the things that the viewers may or may not know, so this Mont Alto campus that Beth and Craig worked at is now going to be closing in, I think, 2027, 2026 or
7.
7,
7. Yeah.
thereabouts.
2027.
So it's I think a budget measure that that Penn State is doing, and but the work goes on, and I know you all have this legacy out there of students that you taught, and they're out there doing awesome things on the ground. And so I'd like to hear a little bit about that, but also I would love if you touched on one of the things that I particularly love about the two of you and the way you interacted with students was not just, I mean, certainly you were teaching them, I mean, that's obvious, but I feel like you did more than just teach. You had actual real relationships with your students and, working with them to help them understand, here's how some of these things work. Here's how you interact with somebody at a convention. Here's, these other maybe life skills. So I really feel like you both went above and beyond. So I'd love also to hear something about kind of the relationship aspect that might be a little different from what everybody is doing out there.
Well, yeah, I'll start, Rachel. I think the maybe an unusual aspect would be to have a married couple teaching a bunch of young students. Not usually common. Neither of us had any relationship where one was the boss over the other, so we were just co-teaching. We spent a lot of time with students. It was 24 hours a day. We were involved with talking about students, what to do next, teaching them. Maybe things like having them write a thank you letter to a host that we just went on a field trip with, or taking them to a professional forestry meeting, working on their resume to get a job, get an internship. So it was definitely, except for sleeping, it was a 24-hour relationship with our students. So we were the mother and father of students, and I was there long enough to be grandfather of students. So it was definitely a unique but wonderful relationship. And the most rewarding part of it to me was to see what a 18-year-old starts out doing and then what they end up doing later on in their career. That was the most rewarding part, what they went out and did. And most of them did good things.
It's awesome.
Exactly. And I'll reel back in the older students as well.
Yeah.
It was so wonderful to have students that would bring life experience into the classroom and set the bar higher, Rachel, for some of the folks that were just out of high school. Military veterans that would come in, that would always be on time and would always ask good questions. Again, just having some of that role modeling within the classroom. I'd echo that, Craig. The importance of thank you, that gratitude element was something that I think we both imparted on students, and students always knew that when Craig and I were driving at the end of the ride, it was very important to always say thank you to the driver.
Yes.
I hope they've carried that forward with Uber and Lyft drivers now too, ride shares. So I think, some of the joy and the passion was helping with the everyday things too.
Right.
Maybe somebody didn't know how to write a check. Maybe a student didn't know how to use a drill or had never eaten A taco. Things that often we take for granted, and learning very early on to be humble and not to assume.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's
Broadening their
awesome.
experiences. Like to go on a lot of field trips, travel to the lumber museum, go to the Allegheny National Forest. We took students to the redwoods in California. We had
Hmm.
funds to do that. Probably did that 6 times.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was a fun experience for all.
And so I'm curious. So there is at least one of the new instructors there was a person that you all instructed. So how does that feel? That must be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great because I retired 3 years ago, and then well, Beth was gone at the time in her new career, but I was on the search committee, and the person who rose to the top was a graduate of our program that Beth had taught as well. And to find out during the interview that he was just marking his time, waiting for this old guy to retire so he could move in. So it was perfect. I couldn't have
Yeah.
planned it any better. That was great. So shout out to Alex Storm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I will add to that, the nice
Yeah.
thing was Alex went out and got experience at other
Right,
institutions and had a teaching career prior to Mont Alto at Haywood Community College down in Western North Carolina,
right.
and brought different experiences back
Yeah,
to the curriculum. And
that's awesome. And you also have Josh Herschel there now, who was
Yeah.
sure,
another student of yours. And I remember meeting him when he was a student there at one of the conventions.
Yeah. Josh, a Army veteran, had been injured in the Iraq War and came back with his GI Bill and really changed his life. And it was great to have him as a leader in the program.
which is exactly what he did. He rose up for every opportunity, including a study abroad trip to India.
That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
And I was a faculty participant on that. And it, again, was nice to have this very tall former military student with a very large voice there to help shepherd a group of faculty and students in India.
So, well, I guess I also do want to highlight these cool
Oh,
jackets that you're
yes.
wearing, which, if you, well, I'll put a picture here so you can see it later. Has their name on one side, but then kiss my axe
2001.
on the
Yep.
other one.
Kiss my axe right there.
So, oh, that's so awesome. So, is there like a story behind these jackets?
There
Yes,
is.
I'm going to stand up and turn
Oh,
around.
yeah,
Here's
yeah,
the back of the jacket,
yeah.
the Timber Sports team. And so Beth and I both coached the Woodsman or Timber Sports team while we're at Mont Alto, and that included any student on campus, but a lot of them were forestry students. And we traveled to Canada to meet, to New York and New England, and students raised funds and bought us these jackets. And for 24 years, we've kept them, and they're still with us.
So, the students actually bought these for
Yeah,
you.
They did.
yeah,
That is
They
so
they
cool.
did, and it was a complete surprise to us. And I remember one of the ringleaders was Lisa,
right.
who graduated from our program and then moved out west with another friend, Melissa,
Yeah,
and they went to the University of Montana
Montana.
to complete their baccalaureate studies in forestry.
Cool. How cool. That's so
Yeah,
awesome. And a shout out to the current Mont Alto students who, my understanding is they were first in their competition
yeah.
this year,
So they're at the
2025.
Cradle of Forestry, the first forestry school in the U.S., and they have a competition every October, and Penn State Mont Alto won that. Yeah, Alex is the coach.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he also competes internationally. He's part of the Steel Timber Sports series, so internationally and nationally, and has continued that legacy of carrying forth the Woodsman's team.
That's so cool. I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to ask about this awesome place that we're sitting in right now. So now that you made some, recent life choices,
Yeah,
changes, just some changes in life, and this place that we're talking to you from is beautiful spot in southern New Hampshire, and just now you're forest landowners.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the place here and why it's special to you all.
Yeah, we're non-industrial forest landowners. 30 acres we have. It's pretty much an oak, northern red oak forest. I don't think it's been cut in a long time. And you're watching the leaves fall down. We've got hemlock and maple and beech. And, Beth and I moved here 3 years ago, but for me, it's kind of a coming back to my family has was a farm just down the road, and we bought the neighbor's house. So now we're 30 acres here and 200 acres of my family's property, my brother's. And this is all in conservation easement, so it can't be developed. And it is, for me, a coming home. And thank you, Beth, for coming with me up to New Hampshire.
Well, you're welcome. You had a sense of place, Craig. This was important for you to come
Yes.
back to New Hampshire.
Yeah, it was.
And then what has it done for you? And like, what does this mean to you? Like, was originally not your place, but now it is. So
Sure.
yeah, what are your feelings about that?
Oh, it's fantastic, Rachel. It's 30 acres of playground, really, for us as foresters to manage and to think proactively and act proactively. For example, with the changing dynamic in this forest with beech leaf disease, where all of these beech trees will be gone, we are planting new trees. We're practicing what we preach, what we taught for so many years, and really paying it forward with the next forest on this land. So it's a sense of place for me now too.
Yeah, absolutely.
None of us own this land. We are all guests on this land, and I think it's important to remember that we are just visitors and to be gentle on this earth.
Yeah, assisting migration, planting, this area doesn't have many white oaks, so we're planting white oaks. And what else? Actually put some non-native, got some metasequoia. What else did you plant? Sourwood.
Sourwood, silver bell, black gum.
Right, some southern species. Yeah.
Huh.
Diversifying the forest.
Yep.
Excited
Absolutely.
about the black gum. That'll be nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful fall color for
Yes.
sure too. Yeah. Oh, cool. That's so awesome. So I just thank you guys so much. I do have for you anyone who participates as an interviewee gets an exclusive sticker, and you are now members of Tree Traveler Mutual Admiration Society.
Yes, Rachel,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Rachel.
much.
The Mutual
I love
Admiration
this.
Society.
I really can
Yay.
call myself a tree traveler now,
Absolutely.
can't I?
Absolutely.
I saw the sticker on your car.
Yes.
Like, I wonder where she got that.
Well, thank you,
Thanks,
Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah, thank you all, and thanks everyone for spending some minutes with us and hearing from Beth and Craig and seeing their beautiful property and learning about their legacy that they have. And please feel free to put any comments below if you liked it. Please like it and consider subscribing. We're going to do some more videos, and for those of you who are so moved, we'll have you can support this channel on Patreon, and assuming any money comes out of this, a portion of that will be going to the James C. Finley Center for Private Forests at Penn State.
Good.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
There we go. Oh.
Whoop. Good.
This will be in the outtakes.
Hold on. Blow your
Like,
nose.
whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Feeling good? Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Hands okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
instead of standing there like guys always
Yeah.
stand there with their
Like a
arms
Civil
like
War
this.
portrait.
Yeah.
Don't show your teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, we
No,
can't.
no, that
Civil
was
War
just a Civil War
portrait.
joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Civil War
Yeah.
portrait joke. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get started then.